Welcome to the Boyz Podcast. They're all about sports, and more sports. And now, the Boyz, Mark and Shemaiah.
Hey, welcome back to the Boyz Podcast. Thank you for joining us once again. Whether it's your break, maybe you just had a rough day, you want to just sit back and enjoy some sports banter, well, you've joined the right crew. I am Mark, and I'm joined by my awesome co-host, the SOTB, the music man with the plan, Shemaiah. Say, hey, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man?
I love it. Shemaiah, Mark, we're the Boyz. Thank you all for joining us for the Boyz Podcast. We're here to talk sports, and more sports. Not a lot of good things happen or have been happening in Detroit recently, but one good positive, a couple of good positives. We're going to talk about those, but the big headliner was the fact that the Detroit Lions have been chosen for Hard Knocks, which is set to premiere, I believe, in August. Now, the Lions, they didn't have a great season. They haven't had a great season in a while. And I think, the fans, I don't know if the fans want to see a Detroit Lions Hard Knocks. I'm not sure how many people actually want to see it. Maybe there's just some morbid curiosity where fans are just curious as to what kind of wild stuff is going on behind the scenes of the Lions organization with some of these players. And don't get me wrong, we don't want to see them fail or anything. And you find out a lot about these players' personalities through Hard Knocks and maybe some of the personal journeys that these guys are going through. But we have our local Lions expert fan right here, Shemaiah. He's going to be the tour guide through this, and I want to get his thoughts on this. And maybe all y'all Lions fans who are just tuning in for the first time are going to get to experience this. Shemaiah is a diehard Lions fan. He tries to be. I mean, the Lions have given him a lot of reasons not to, but he sticks with them. He loves them. He grew up with them, and we've got the right guy. And this is the right topic, very appropriate, the right topic to talk to him about. So, man, I'm just going to get right down to it. What are your initial thoughts?
Well, number one, the fact that HBO Sports and NFL Films are not thinking that this is a waste of time and energy and money. It means to me that this is going to be probably the most exciting thing that's ever happened to Detroit since Barry Sanders. That's a bad joke. I know that was a bad joke. Maybe not the whole city, just
some of them.
Yeah. But specifically for Detroit Lions, all jokes aside, I'm just joking. The fact that they believe in this presentation, if you will, of the city, I think is going to be exciting for people to maybe just look at the culture of the city, maybe take some of the spotlight off of the, complete football team and kind of embrace just the fans and how they live their lives day to day. So I think if they do it right, they'll kind of illustrate why people in Detroit are fans of the Lions. And I think it's more of a culture thing, if anything, because yes, we're known for losing, and yes, it's not fun to be cheering on your team when they're not winning, but it's something that's deeper than that, if you will. So I think it's a great opportunity for the culture of just the people in Detroit to kind of express themselves. I mean, these are artists, music, media, multimedia people. I mean, it's passion. I mean, sports is passion in Michigan outside of music. Everyone knows Motown and all that good stuff. But this is an opportunity for, I think, the players to kind of tell their story, man. I mean, I know that sounds bad because they're not a winning team recently. But as far as the culture, though, I think people respect the city and what they can offer to America as far as culture goes. Because, yes, it's interesting that they chose the Lions, but maybe this is the motivation that they need, right? To kind of say, hey, we have the pressure on us now. Everyone's watching us. So maybe we can get some more W's next season because of this situation, because it could be an inspirational story that, man, we get to learn a little bit more, right? a little bit more insight for the city and the city workers, right? The employees, the teachers, the coaches of high school, and, like the whole energy of the city. And if we look at, no, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was just going to throw in that when I think Detroit, I think of, it's not just the Lions. It is, like you said, a culture of people.
Yeah, I think that will be a spark of inspiration for the Lions players to feel like, hey, we kind of have a little bit pressure now to kind of perform. And this might be a way for them to use this as a vehicle to say, hey, we want to make our people from Detroit proud. Like, we don't want people watching this and have more stuff to pull from for jokes. Like, we want to use this as an opportunity to say, hey, what do we really have to do as a collective team to get more W's next season? So I think this is brilliant. I think it's awesome. It's going to be funny, right? Because people know that Lions are not great. But at the same time, it's going to be an opportunity for them to kind of feel the pressure, if you will. Like, the stove is hot and it's time to really get serious, man. Like, why would people waste their time trying to tell your story, right? If they didn't think that there's something bigger than the game. So I think this is a way to showcase that it is bigger than the game, because the people of Detroit, they are special people. I mean, you rep your city. Y'all don't care where you're from. Everyone's city is special because there's leaders and people there that create memories for, the students in schools and in college and prepping them for the pros. So the barbershops, like, all of that plays a role. So I think it's probably a warm story if they do it right, which I know they will, because when we have NFL films involved, HBO, they got top of the line producers, editors. It's going to be top notch.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that they really focus more on just the positives and just the culture of the city. Like you mentioned, it's just got such deep roots in American society and culture, great history, just with the music, the car industry. It's just a lot going around. And I do hope they shine a light on some of the fans and just the diehards that really just root for this team no matter what happens. And they also get that connection between the players and the fans. That's what I'd like to see from this as well. I want to see fans interacting with the players. I want to see footage of the players getting involved in the community. And I think that would do a lot to help. It's funny because you mentioned how, it impacts the organization and motivates the organization. I'm hoping they show stuff like that to kind of further deepen the bond between the fans and those players, to showcase, hey, we're not just a team in a city. We are all one people who kind of root for each other because we're all here in this place and we all want each other to succeed. And I just think that Hard Knocks could do a very good job, but they've got the production value to do it. And I'm hoping they just shine the brightest spotlight on the Lions organization and the players and show them in a good light, because they really need a dub right now, off the field.
It's funny you say that, because here's a little funny stat. The Lions have never been featured on any shows for the past 17 seasons.
Wow.
So, this is like an overdue situation where, hey, let's kind of tell our story, if you will, of our, city. So I don't think there's going to be any negatives, if you will. Maybe they might try to ask some hard questions, maybe, but they probably just look at the process and the culture, and we'll see. I believe it's supposed to be like 5 episodes series. So it should be fun to watch.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think it looks promising. And like I said, we just hope that they show the team and the organization in a good light, because especially for the fans, I think that's who it's going to mean the most to. Of course, we want the team to feel motivated to play harder, play better, learn from their mistakes last season. And maybe they improve upon their team building. But as far as the fans, I think this means the most to them. And those fans deserve some wins, some positives. And I hope that the fans are mostly, shown in a positive light alongside their team. Because to me, there's the team, there's fans, but to me, Detroit Lions, Detroit are a whole people. Like, they are one organism. And I definitely get that vibe. You don't get that vibe with too many teams, but with a lot, but with certain ones like this, with such a rich history, like you mentioned, Barry Sanders, Megatron, all those fans, all the players, like, no matter where you work in Detroit, like, you can all come together and root for a team to succeed and a player on that team to rep that team. So I think this is a big win for the fans, especially, and the team. Hopefully, get something out of this. Hopefully, it motivates them. But I think this is a huge win for the fans more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of fans, you kind of expect ticket sales to go through the roof because of this. Because who wouldn't want to support their team if they're going to be on TV? I mean, social media is going to eat this up. So this is going to be an opportunity for people who kind of, left their wallet on the shelf and it's dusty right now. They're going to pick that wallet up and go buy some tickets and support the team. And when that happens, it supports the city because it creates jobs. So it's just a domino effect. But real quick, President CEO Rod Wood, he expressed in an article, DetroitLions.com, that he's, speaking for an organization, that they're excited about the opportunity to showcase the city of Detroit and the amazing culture we are building at the Lions. So that kind of plays with my statement of they're probably going to showcase the culture as much as possible, not just the training, quote unquote, camp. But for someone like the president and CEO of the Detroit Lions team have that acknowledgement, that just shows proof in the pudding that this is already sparking some inspiration for the people inside the locker room. So let's just hope that, look at the Cowboys. They got featured last year, and maybe that helped them with a boost of motivation. I mean, who wouldn't want to see your own teammates on TV, right? You know what I'm saying? You cracking jokes, saying, "Oh, that was dope," or I don't know what they say.
Well, especially the stories that led up to the season,
because you reminisce, so you have nostalgia. You start thinking about stuff, and like I said, it's probably going to be another way for them to reflect, maybe, and kind of push them to, hey, we can actually get some W's next season. I mean, who knows? Detroit Lions just may make the playoffs because of this inspirational project.
I hope so. I don't see them making the playoffs.
Oh, I don't. Season. I'm just wishing.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's good to wish, though. Like, again, that's the true Lions fan in you right there. That's coming out. And Lions fans should support their team through thick and thin. They can joke about it. They could say, "Oh, this team is bad. These guys aren't playing up to the standard that we hold." But at the end of the day, the fans, they want to support this team because the Lions are part of the Detroit culture. And like you said, when the team succeeds, the city succeeds and the fans feel that. And again, like I'll say it again, that's just one of those teams, Detroit Lions with Detroit. It just feels like that team is initially the city. Like, it's just got so much culture and so many people around it that feel part of like this organism, this family. And there's not too many teams that have that vibe, but the Lions definitely have that. And I may not be a Lions fan, but they're an easy team to want to, rebound, honestly, and I hope they do find success early, or soon rather. But that's not the only thing happening to Detroit, though. We found out recently that the 2024 NFL draft is also being held in Detroit. So again, another great opportunity to showcase the culture of Detroit, the city, its fans, the people there. I hope nothing ridiculous happens, like in a bad way, because to me, this is just, again, all of this stuff to me, like, you could say what you want about the team. Hopefully it motivates the team, which we hope it does. But to me, the draft in 2024, Hard Knocks, this for me benefits the fans the most because they want to see their team get featured. They want to see their team in the spotlight. And, a little bit of spotlight never hurt anyone. I mean, look what happened when Brady went to the Bucs, like, that team got the spotlight, a big one, and it handled it, and they had the right leader for it. And maybe, like you said, this motivates the team. Like, hey, we're getting all this attention on this organization, on this city. Let's make some moves. Let's upgrade our flaws in our weak spots and get it done.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a lottery ticket for the city because we all know the economic impact that it will create for just everywhere. I mean, honestly, you can argue the state of Michigan. I mean, it's going to be fireworks and excitement because think about it. You have potentially legends, future legends that will be in the city, you know? So the fact that you get to host this event that's almost sacred, right, for a super, like, serious NFL fan, I mean, people going to come all over. And there's a ton of fans in Canada. So you're talking about international. So it's going to be people pouring into the city, and hopefully by then everything's good and safe and people can travel safe and all that stuff. Because there's an article somewhere that was mentioning the loss that they had experienced from ticket sales from just people from Canada coming, you know?
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So for like hotel stays and restaurants,
tourism
visits. Yeah. It's like, that is going to be big for them in 2024 because internationally, people do like the city of Detroit. And that's, once again, the culture. It's not always about the team sometimes. Sometimes it's just the city. And yeah, it's going to definitely have a positive impact for their economy. And if I was the people in charge running the city, man, get ready. It's going to be nothing but fun because you get to tell the history of Detroit. When I lived there, every summer, I think it was the Dream Cruise is what they call it. And we watch it every summer night. It's for Detroit's birthday. And it'll be a long parade, celebration, all this stuff. Sometimes I think they had karaoke one time. Like they did a remix of American Idol, had like Detroit Idol or something like that. And this is like a long time ago, man. But I just remember those memories of watching, local news in the summer. And that's like me in Ypsilanti, 45 minutes outside Detroit. And it just goes to show you how much people love Detroit. Like, you ain't living in the heart of the city, but you're close by the city and you still show your respect and your appreciation of what it offers to the state of Michigan. So yeah, it's a special, long-winded, what I'm trying to say is it's a special moment because everyone's going to bring their family to this event in 2024 because it's history, man. And who knows the top player of that year, it's gonna be magic for them.
Yeah, maybe the next Tom Brady gets drafted there. Who knows?
Right.
Yeah. You know what else what I like that you mentioned on the economic side of things because the NFL draft, it's it does mean a big deal for the host city, but fans travel like to rep their teams to these things. So that's going to be a lot of great exposure. Like just for the city in general with a bunch for a bunch of other fan bases to come in there and experience like the rich history of Detroit and what, that city is all about. And they'll get to experience like the different cuisine, like all the Detroit style pizza, the Detroit style, like coney dogs, like that's only stuff that you can really get like in Detroit. And it's got its own stuff. It's got its own history that like other fans and other people who are traveling from far away to come to this event can experience. And it's just a great opportunity for them to share in that. So I think this 2024 draft is going to be, again, like we said about Hard Knocks, it's another great thing for the fans and for the city in general.
Yeah. Real quick, my last thoughts on this is, they did a great job hosting the Super Bowl back in 2006 because I was there. I went to the festivities and it was awesome.
Oh, because that was amazing.
It's basically a party style atmosphere. The food was awesome. They had bus shuttles getting people, picked up and dropped off in different areas in the city. It was very organized, at good security. So, that's something that Detroit can add on the list, and it's just going to give them more leverage to prove that they are a city that is one of the cities that you must visit in the United States of America. And a quick fact, they also hosted a Super Bowl back in 1982.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Pontiac Superdome. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, that is a long time ago.
So that's just a fun fact, man, because Detroit, they're known for their pride for history, even though recently it hasn't been that great. But, you know, they look at the whole picture. And if you look at the culture, I think that's going to be something that people get to witness with the documentary series with HBO.
Yeah. I mean, either way, I think it's a win-win for the city. It's a win-win for the fans, and especially the fans coming abroad. You know, they get to come and experience this in a city that they may or may have not been into, but they get to share in that culture with the residents there. So I think either way, it's good in all aspects. But quick question. So they've got, you know, the Detroit style, like chili cheese dogs. Is it true that you eat those with a fork?
You have to. They will break your fork if you try to pick it up with your bare hands.
They'll break your hands. They'll break your hands.
They'll break the fork because you're, you know, bringing shame to the whole area, because they won't break your hands. They're not ruthless like that. Maybe Philly might do that to you, but Detroit, no, it's a rule. It's an unspoken rule. You cannot pick it up with your hands. And it is the most amazing thing ever that you will eat, period. It's always fresh.
So why is that? Is it just because it's so much chili, like on the dog, that you just physically cannot carry it with your hands?
Usually there's an older person in the kitchen. If they're not cooking, they're teaching everybody else how to cook. And they always check on the customers, making sure that they liking the food. And it's the passion behind the cooking, man. Like, you can't get it made anywhere else and it'll taste the same. It's kind of like any other major city in America. Yeah. If they have a special signature dish, you can't go somewhere else and have the same taste.
Yeah. And then, like, with that style, either like you can't, because I don't know anywhere else where you eat a hot dog with a fork. Like, that
Trust
is a
me,
Detroit
man. My
thing.
mouth is watering right now because I remember I used to go to the car show every year, and man, it's the best car show ever. There's no other place as big as Detroit.
Yeah,
they have the biggest car show ever, and yeah, it's something that has to be seen because it's huge. Like, there's sections on sections on sections. From custom cars to the new recent year current cars being released that the public has not seen. Yeah, it's something you have to Google because it's massive. I haven't been to one in a long time since I went to Toledo in 2009, but still, previous 2009, the years I went is breathtaking.
And that's the Detroit car show specifically because I grew up. I've been to a few car shows like growing up, and they are fun. But I can only imagine the size of like Detroit's.
I mean, Motor City, man. Like, they have to live up to the name. I mean, it's a massive crowd too. Like, the crowd was so massive when I went back in the day. I believe they had time schedules so that no one all showed up at once, you know, like,
oh, wow.
Yeah. Cause
my God.
Yeah. It's that massive. And it was crowded, but people had fun. Some of the car displays was interactive. Some of them, a lot of them were roped off, but they allowed you to sit in the car sometimes, depending, you know, which model it was, you know what I'm saying? But it was, you got everything. They had like little mini model cars that you can buy. It was just amazing. Presentations, like set times for watching presentations for exotic cars and whatnot. And then you had like your West Coast Customs type vibe down in the basement. We had a basement. That's how big the car show was. We had a basement.
Okay, I've never heard of that. A car show with a basement. Detroit guys, the Detroit car show.
Google it, man.
I'm gonna have to after this. That's for sure.
Because that's where you went to see all the custom street cars.
Yeah.
Like, I believe West Coast Customs came out. Don't quote me on that because I was kind of young when I went, but still I was like teenager or whatever.
Yeah, I hear you.
But man, like, it's just massive. Like, you went from business looking cars to luxury cars to like mom soccer car vans or whatever.
But the best mom soccer vans ever, though.
Right.
Yeah.
And obviously they had like Chrysler and Jeeps and all that stuff as a focal point, you know, because, you know, you got to represent in the city. So, but no, I mean, long story short, it's an amazing culture, man. Like, that's the main thing I can say about it is it's the people that makes it special. And that's why, you know, the whole thing with Detroit Lions, man, with the documentary and the 2024 event, it's going to showcase the city in bright light, and they need it. I think to kind of give them that boost to maybe inspire the next generation to create those memories that people look one day behind them, and it'll be a nostalgia. It'll be great memories for them.
Yeah, for sure. And it's going to mean so much more too when the team is actually good. And I'll tell you what, that first time that they make the playoffs in a while, like, it may not be next season, may not be the season after that, but when they make the playoffs, that's going to be a magical moment for those fans and for the city, because I mean, just so many years of hardship and mismanagement, and I mean, this team deserves. I mean, the fans ultimately deserve.
Yeah, like greatness. I said, I think this might create some necessary pressure for people to perform, because once you're under the microscope, because you got all this media going on, PR, it's going to force people to level up, because I'm sure they're going to have meetings, right? Hey, don't embarrass me. You know, make sure you don't do this. Make sure you have your people on time. Make sure you're not sleeping. You know, I'm joking, but
wake me up for the documentary.
It's gonna be right. Like, show up to training camp.
You have to show up to training camp.
They found out why they've been losing. I'm joking.
Oh, we found out. The Baller Boys figured it out.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Hopefully they listen to the podcast, so they make sure we show up on time. But long story short, I know we got to wrap this up, but it's just simply going to be an opportunity for them to not just shine, but kind of huddle together and have a tight circle and show that they can deliver, even though they're like a slow start, so to speak, because people are like expecting them to do great things. So this is their opportunity, most likely, to show that they are ready to make a positive change as far as sports world goes.
Yeah, for sure. And at the end of the day, we both hope that this inspires the team and motivates the management as well. Because it's not just the players out there. Like, they go out there and they bust their butt, and they may not get W's, but those guys are still putting their bodies out there on the line. And there has to be, hopefully, the management is encouraged and motivated to make the necessary moves, bring in the right personnel for success going forward, because this team, the city, and the fans deserve it. So, Shemaiah, I think we touched on all of the good stuff happening to Detroit and surrounding the Lions right now. So with that, I think we could call that an episode. We took a nice little trip down memory lane with Shemaiah with the car show, and I finally got an explanation about forks and hot dogs, which is a Detroit only thing apparently. And you can only get that here on the Baller Boys. So thank you all for tuning in and joining us. I am Mark. He is the SOTB, Shemaiah. And we just talk sports, and more sports. We do this casually, after a work day. And y'all, we appreciate y'all listening in as well. Maybe you had a rough day. Maybe you've had a good day and you just have that little itch to listen to some guys talk about sports. And, that's what we like to do. On our off time, we like to just talk sports, and it helps us vent. So thank y'all for listening in. Tune in next time when we talk about your favorite sports, and more sports. We have multiple episodes out weekly, so don't forget to check Apple Podcasts or Spotify tomorrow. You don't want to miss the next episode. And we're looking at around 20, 25 minutes, nothing too long. Maybe y'all want to get a workout in, eat some lunch. Maybe you had a bad taco and you're just in the bathroom a little longer, throw on some Baller Boys. So with that, peace out, y'all. Shemaiah, say peace out, huh?
Peace out, and make sure you follow me on Shemaiah on the BT on Twitter.
There you go. Follow us both. I'm Mark VMC, MarkTH333, no E, capital M, capital C. Mark VMC. He's Shemaiah on the BT. Peace out, y'all.